what's up everybody? Today, make sure your seat back and tray table are in their upright and locked position because we're talking about transporting combat robots on airplanes. And for me, most of the events I go to, I travel by car, throw my robot, my tools in the back, and just hit the road and don't have really anything at all to worry about. But I have brought combat robots on planes several times now, but last year's AVC was the first time in a long time that I had done it. And airline regulations change pretty often. The technology inside these robots had changed a lot since I'd done it. So I was a little nervous going into it. And from a lot of the comments I see on the Combat Robot Facebook page, it seems like other people who haven't flown with combat robots before experience this exact same fear. So I kind of wanted to document my process of taking the robots to AVC from Florida to Colorado and just kind of talk about what that's like, the precautions I take, and all that fun stuff. Now, it should be said that my perspective is a little bit limited because I am only traveling with a fully electric combat robot. And it's only a 12-pound robot and a 3-pound robot going with me, so Hellhound and Demon Spawn. So they are electric robots running off lithium polymer batteries. If you are using pneumatics, if you are using fuel, either gasoline for an engine or fire of some kind, I honestly can't say I know the rules and regulations behind that. I'm fairly confident that like butane and things like that for flamethrowers you'd have to buy when you got to the event. You can't bring that with you. I believe pneumatics you can transport as long as the tanks are empty, but I'm not really sure enough on that, so that would require a little extra research. And the reason I bring up the weight classes for the bots is because a lot of airlines do have a weight limit or a limit you have to be under in order to not have to pay extra fees. Both this year and last year I flew with Southwest Airlines, and they have a limit that as long as your bag is within like the size requirement, and I think 50 pounds or less, you can bring 2 bags on and they won't charge you anything extra. So this is how I'm transporting Hellhound for AVC. I bought this knockoff Pelican case off Amazon, and honestly it's not as big as I thought it would be. I really just have the robot minus its blade, the charger, the remote, and a couple extra pieces in here. But it'll keep all this nice and secure. This is the more delicate stuff anyway, so this should be fine. I'll put the rest in my suitcase. I have all this in here, and then I'm going to throw in a little note just in case, so they know to call me if there is any issue, but it should be fine. So this is how I am sending out my lithium batteries. I have them in their bags. The leads are all taped up on them, both the main lead and the balance lead on all of them. So I've got 2 for Hellhound, 2 for Demon Spawn. I also threw my GoPros in there just because they have lithium batteries too. And I've got my alkaline batteries for my transmitter, and they're going to go on here, but I didn't put them in yet just because I wanted to show you this before it looks like crap once you throw alkaline batteries in there. But yeah. So this is what I'm doing. This is carry-on. So this is going to go, basically come out of my bag, go through the metal detector on its own. And last time they didn't give me any problems, so hopefully this time's the same. So yeah, traveling with combat robots is kind of not all that interesting. So bags came through just fine. Did end up with the TSA slip, so we know they actually did inspect it, but everything seems to be in good order. So I'm going to put everything back together and make sure it works, but should be good.
1 week later.
So I finally got around to opening up the box for Hellhound, and I didn't even get TSA checked on this side of things. I didn't even open it. My normal suitcase didn't either, but kind of surprised this one made it through. Okay, so like I said in that last clip, that was kind of anticlimactic. But you know what? That's how it should be. It shouldn't be something to stress out about or to worry over. It was honestly really easy. Both sides of my trip, they never bothered to question me or really do anything that seemed out of the ordinary with the LiPoly batteries. They went through the x-ray machine. Of course, I did have everything very clearly labeled and identified, so there were no questions about what was in that box. And for the robot stuff itself, it wasn't that bad. I got TSA slips in both of my bags the first way out. And I did realize when I was editing the footage that I don't have any footage of the crappy inside of my second bag. It was just a standard roller suitcase, and I literally threw clothes on one side of the bag and robot parts on the other. And by the time I got to Colorado, those things were all just cohabitating together. And I did kind of have to shake out all my clothes to make sure there were no hidden robot parts in them before putting them on. But if you do want some additional information on other people's experiences traveling with robots, I plugged this in my last video, but I'll plug it again. Ben over at Team Panic filmed a little podcast. 4 of us builders got together at AVC and filmed kind of a little podcast thing talking about our prep for AVC itself. But in that process, we also did discuss traveling. And 3 of us had flown to that event. Ben had actually flown internationally from Australia. So his story is quite a bit different than my story, even though it sounds like his was actually easier until he got to America. But I will link that down below and in the end card in case you missed that video and you want to check it out, because it definitely does relate to what we're talking about here. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.